There is a sponsor for this segment. Did you know that? We're sponsored by Yeti. You guys have any Yetis?
Cool.
Yeah. I don't have a free Yeti for you, but we're sponsored by Yeti.
Okay.
Cool.
But this segment features the coldest moment, sponsored by Yeti. So I have a question for each of you about the other person. I want you to think about your respective careers and tell me what the coldest moment of the other person's career was. So it could be a hit, tackle, takeaway. It could be a locker room speech. I don't know what comes to mind, but when you think of Marist and his career, Jack, what's his coldest moment?
Coldest moment. I would have to say, like I remember in the whole game, turning on the film against Clemson last year. Like Marist was everywhere, played really good, and you can just see that hair like flowing out of the back of the helmet. Like that's just something like is imprinted in my head. Like Marist was killing the counter. Like guys didn't want to mess with him, and so like it's just that type of play style that you think of the coldest moment.
Yeah, when he's running around, you can't miss him. Right?
Yeah. I mean that hair is just
Troy
Polamalu-ish.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
What about you? What's Jack's coldest? You got it? Okay.
I got it right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack's coldest moment was, this was when I was hurt. I think it was a Shamrock Series game in Chicago against Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the sideline. I remember Jack's pick six.
Pick six.
Yeah, he like dropped in like zone coverage, and he saw like, what was it? It was something like an out route. He just read it.
China.
Yeah. He broke on it and he just took it to the house. So
that was a crazy game because it was close, and then all of a sudden you look up and you guys were blowing out Wisconsin. Is that one of the? I mean, you have a lot of good moments here, but does that one kind of come to mind towards the top of the games you guys have played here?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you think of the setting too, like in Chicago, if you remember the stadium, like there was a decent amount of Wisconsin fans there. Like the whole half of the stadium was almost red, and so it was a close game, right? And then all of a sudden we just took off.
Yeah.
And it was really fun, and it seemed like defensively everything came together at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chris Tyree obviously had the kickoff return for a touchdown that sparked everything. The student section was awesome. And then we got home early because it was a 11 a.m. kickoff in Chicago, which was awesome. We love noon games.
Yeah, I get to celebrate with everybody back here. It must be nice. This week, big game, right? I'm sure you guys are trying to stay in the moment, not make it bigger than it is, but you get a chance to play Ohio State. Just what's the excitement level like? What are you looking forward to most about this weekend? I'll start with you, Marist.
I try to stay like pretty level throughout the week. I'm obviously really excited. I know they're a great team coming in. Playing them at home is a great opportunity. It's going to be an electric atmosphere for us. So first night game, all green.
Ooh, yeah. You guys excited for the green?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't put it on yet or seen it, but excited for it. The all green will be something. We'll see.
You know, something I love about college football is it brings a lot of different people together, right? All different backgrounds. Think about the two of you, right? You're Indiana, born and raised, right?
Yep.
Just down the street. You probably dreamed of playing here your whole life. And you're from how many miles away? 4,000, 5,000? What is it?
No idea.
No idea. It's a lot, though, right?
A lot.
Yeah, Hawaii. Same school as Manti, right? Is that where you went? So I want, for those that maybe don't know a ton about your story, just describe your background growing up and when you first thought you wanted to come to Notre Dame. I'll start with you because I imagine when you grew up here, you knew you wanted to go to Notre Dame, or what was that like?
Yeah, so, I mean, like you said, I grew up an hour and 15 minutes away, in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by cornfields. Played at small school, like triple option, wing T style, was a quarterback, safety on defense, like did everything. Always wanted to play, college football. But the thing that was unique is no one in my community had ever really been to Notre Dame or gone to Notre Dame. Okay. And so it just wasn't really that prevalent just because it didn't seem attainable. So most people went to the ag school at Purdue or IU for medicine or whatnot, right? And it was type that thing like, oh, you would watch the Notre Dame game because it was on NBC and it was always primetime. Yeah. But then at the end of the day, it's like, oh, like good for them, they won, like, but you weren't like a diehard fan just because you really didn't have that connection. Yeah. And so when I started getting recruited to other schools, my dad said, hey, why don't we just go up to Notre Dame for a quick game? Like, you've never been to a game. Like, I think you'll really like it. So we came to the Miami of Ohio game, loved the atmosphere, like got to see the tunnel, fell in love with the tradition. Then came back the next week for the Georgia game. And it was a night game in 2017.
Great game except for the result.
But that's when I like fell in love. Yeah. Like the atmosphere, with the fans, with the guys in the locker room. Like I was like, man, if I get a chance to play for them one day, like that would be something special.
Yeah.
And so like it's really crazy because never in my life would I thought like growing up, oh, I'm gonna play for Notre Dame, and then here I am. So yeah.
Was it for you? Was it seeing Manti here, or what was the process like when you knew you wanted to come here?
Yeah, seeing Manti was a big part of me like knowing what Notre Dame was. I didn't really know what it was until like high school.
Yeah.
And then when they came into my recruiting process, it was like a no-brainer for me. It was my best opportunity.
Yeah.
And so my parents, obviously I talked with my parents and they wanted me to come here, and we just thought it was the best decision. And I know it was far, but it was going to be worth it. And I don't regret my decision at all.
How you guys liking your 5th year on campus? Is it good? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the season's been off to a great start, which always
that helps.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Yeah. My class schedule is nice.
Yeah. That's the other thing. It's more so like, all right, it's about time you're a football player versus being, you're an athlete versus being a student athlete.
Yeah.
So
I think it was maybe like Josh Lugg, who I was talking to a couple years ago. He kind of said the same thing. He was just like, once you were done with your degree and you had that semester that was just football, you kind of got the idea of what it might be like to be a pro, right? Or at least as close as you can. Is that what you guys have felt this year? You can really lock into football differently?
Yeah, I mean, there's different stuff you can do. And the biggest thing for me is like getting down the routine. Just getting a better routine, making sure your nutrition's where it needs to be.
You found that to be the same for you, Marist? You got more time to just lock into football and get your nutrition right, or what?
Yeah, for sure. For me, I have so much more time compared to previous years. When it comes to like school and stuff like that, I'm able to watch so much more film and get into our playbook a lot more. But, yeah.
And another thing is like in class, like you can choose classes that are kind of interesting, not be pressured in just because you're in a particular major or something.
Right.
So I'm taking a real estate class,
but
then I'm also taking an obesity class.
Oh.
And then also taking a sports management class, like something that doesn't really fall in line with my major at all. But
what do you
now that I'm just interested in it?
What is the obesity class?
It's an anthropology of obesity.
Interesting.
So just basically how the body has evolved, why in some cases do certain populations carry more body fat than other? What is the obesity pandemic kind of what's causing it? What's going on in America right now? Like a lot of interesting stuff. And as an athlete, like I'm pulling stuff away. Like, I mean, we're talking all about different types of fats that can do different things in different situations. And so it's just like really eye-opening of what's out there.
Did you guys realize when you came here how much you learned just by being a college athlete about nutrition and like how much they drill you on like what you should put in and how it affects your body? Like over the 5 years, I'm assuming you guys have both learned a ton about how certain foods affect your body, right?
For sure. I mean, I had no idea about nutrition prior to college. So it's coming in, I just when like our dietitians and all that, they talk about our nutrition and how important it is for us to be able to perform at a high level. It's crazy. Just every little thing matters.
What's a food you used to eat that you don't eat anymore now that you've learned about what it does to your body?
I'm gonna be honest. I still eat the bad food. Yeah, but I just like limit it.
Okay.
So I don't eat it as much. So,
what do you limit then?
Like fried foods, like fried chicken, French fries, all that stuff.
Tastes good though.
Yeah,
it's funny. Like,
I can't give it up.
Yeah, you can't give it up.
I had no idea really what that nutrition avenue kind of looked like. Growing up on a farm, it was meat and taters, like every day, glass of milk in the morning.
Yeah,
like, thought I had everything taken care of. Then you get here and there's a lot more into it that you need to focus on. Processed foods versus natural like organic foods. Like it's a big deal.
It's crazy. The one of the things I wanted to ask you guys coming in here, you guys came in 19, right? Was your first year on campus? So you had COVID, you've had a coaching change, you guys have played some big time games, a lot's happened. Like, have you guys had a chance? I know you guys are in the thick of it right now. I'll start with you, Marist, but like, have you had a chance to think about all the different stuff you guys have gone through to kind of get to where you are now, and like what your Notre Dame experience has really been like? Because you guys have been through a ton in your 4.5 years here.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll sit down and just reflect on it, but haven't really like dove into it. It feels like time. Like I think college goes a lot faster than high school for some reason, and I feel like just yesterday I was a sophomore, and I haven't really like thought about how much has like gone into this process to lead me to where I am right now.
What about you, Jack?
I mean, I think it's just been crazy how much change has occurred.
Yeah.
Yet there's so much that's stayed the same.
Yeah.
Right. The day to day is still the same. Like we still have workouts and meetings and football practice and classroom responsibilities. But then you look around and you look at the people you're doing it with, and out of the 25 guys in our class, there's 9 of us left or 8 of us
Right,
left
that
like,
came in. Yeah.
Yeah. So that half your class is gone, more than half a class. We've had 3 different DCs.
Yep.
We've 2 head coaches, a college football season where there was no fans.
Yep.
Like it was a lot that's kind of gone in through this journey, but at the same time, it's still like we're in the thick of it, and it's gone fast, and a blink of an eye goes by. So it's pretty crazy.
I was looking back. This is how I feel old. I remember when you guys came in, like your first year I was working here. I went back and watched the recruiting video announcements. the Fight Club with the boxing. And I was looking at you guys like, dang, these guys look different. You guys tiny. Yes. Do you ever go back and watch that and think, dang, I put on some good muscle since then? What do you guys look?
I know, like my first weigh-in at the Goog, I weighed 196 pounds.
Oh.
And
where are you at now?
I'm at 230, 232
wow.
consistently. And so like, it's just crazy. Like just the physical difference that you can see.
Yeah. I remember I actually edited your video.
Really?
Case, if you want to thank me, that's
you did
fine.
a good job.
All right, thanks. Yeah, good. Those were cool. quite the project when we were putting those out back then. I want to ask you about being a linebacker. That was one thing I was curious about too, is you got a head coach that's a linebacker. Just to the best of your ability, explain to me, someone that never played football, what it means to be a linebacker.
Well, I think there's a standard at Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at great linebacker play, like it's been set.
Yeah.
And then you have Coach Freeman, who was a really good linebacker himself, like at the helm of the program now. And so there's a standard of leadership qualities that it takes to be a linebacker here. But then like playmaking ability and the ability to control the defense and run the defense in a commanding way. I don't know what you think.
I agree. I feel like at Notre Dame, being a linebacker, you have to be the leader of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Like position wise, and you have to know everything. You have to know your job. You have to know what's going on around you. And with that takes a lot of time and like responsibility. And so like we expect highly of the other linebackers, like Jack and JD.
Yeah.
Obviously older guys who have great routines in their lives. They got their stuff together. Like we expect the same from the younger guys and trying to bring them along.
What have you guys done now that you're older? Like we just talked about how fast it goes. You guys were young and had those older guys telling you what to do. What do you guys do now with the young guys, trying to set them up for when you're gone, or even try to fill in, of course, like last week? Like, what do you guys do? How do you communicate with the young guys to get them to the spot they need to be able to perform, whether it's this year or going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it you kind of have to figure out on your own,
mm-hmm.
right? You kind of have to go through the dog days in the winter when it's tough, waking up at 6 a.m. and just building that mental toughness
mm-hmm.
on your own. But the other thing is, which I think the freshman class has done great right now, is like be a magnet, right? Just stick to someone who does it right, and then do everything they're doing. And whether that's in conditioning, you line up right next to the guy that you want to compete with one day, and you're going to try to stay on his hip. Or if it's in the film room, if someone else is in there, you're going to be in there getting the same coaching tips and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just the advice I've always had for them, is be a magnet. And find someone who does it the right way and try to, replicate that.
Is there a certain young linebacker that you find yourself, or he finds himself gravitating towards you, Marist, that you're trying to kind of help come along here?
I talk a lot to like Drake Bowen and
mm-hmm.
Preston Zinner.
Yeah.
Those two, I think they ask me the most questions like out of the young guys, which is
good questions.
And I tell them, I encourage all of them to ask me questions. Like I try to be an outlet for them. Because I feel comfortable in the defense going into my second year with Coach Golden. So I just tell them, ask me anything. I don't care what it is.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how silly you might think it is, like just ask me whatever you want. And those two ask me a lot of questions, yeah.
That's good, though. Better than not asking the questions and falling behind, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's one thing, like when we were freshmen, like we had a great group of older guys, Wu, Drew White, Asmar. Like they really made us feel comfortable in the room. And that's half the battle, is just making the young guys feel comfortable where they can speak up and ask those questions. If they just don't know what's going on, like ask. We can help. Like we've been through that. So
Coach Freeman, you guys have seen him. You had him as a DC, right, for that year,
mm-hmm.
and then he made the transition. He's in his second year. I get to talk to him every week. and it's fun. He's a great guy to talk to, but you guys' relationship's obviously different with him. Just what have you enjoyed about him as a DC, as a head coach? You've known him now for a couple years. When you think of Coach Freeman, what do you really appreciate about him? Start with you.
I just think he looks at us more than just his players. Like there's a different type of relationship there, and he shows that on a daily basis. Whether we're changing the schedule because it fits the players better, or giving us first class seats, or whatever the case might be, like he makes sure that his actions back up his words, and that means a lot. As far as like how the relationship has changed since being LB coach, now head coach, I would say he favors the offense a lot more in practice. Like it's not even close. The spot is always terrible.
Oh no!
But
you got to take the whistle away from him. Is what you're saying?
He still the funny thing is he still challenges us on a daily basis to be the best we can be, to choose hard and win every moment. So yeah.
What about you?
I think just Coach Freeman's genuine like personality, who he is as a person outside of the Goog. I know that he makes an effort to get to know the people around him who work around him. He doesn't just look past someone like he walks by, or just like he makes sure to really know the place that he works in and who's really making like everything work around the Goog and to support our team.
Yeah, he's really embraced the university.
Yeah.
And whether that's like during training camp, like forcing everybody, like every team meeting, we're going to start off with the fight song until the whole team knows the fight song.
Yeah.
Which, like, there's been times in the locker room, it's like, oh, like you can hear it, but it's not super strong. Versus now, like, no one's mumbling.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's important.
Yeah.
It's like little things like that, making sure we know who the cafeteria staff is, like the managers on the team, like knowing them by name. I don't know. He really embraces the culture of the university.
He makes sure we have like pride in our school.
Yeah.
He knows make sure we know what our school is about and like who we play for really.
And why we're different.
Yeah.
One of the topics I was going to ask you guys about, you kind of led me to, was I guess, different teams supporting each other across campus. I see Coach Freeman at all kinds of sporting events. I've seen him with other coaches. He's very involved. I know you guys try to support other teams. Who are the teams you guys are tight with, and why do you guys try to show that support when you can, when you're not in the thick of your season?
I have some really good friends on the lacrosse team.
Okay.
I used to go to a lot of baseball back when JD's brother was on the team.
Right.
It was always fun. And then women's basketball, shout out to them. This past season, I went to a couple games, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend's Sonia Citron.
Mm-hmm.
She's on the basketball team. So, I mean, I love watching her play. It's just so fun. Coach Freeman comes out to a lot of the games, and then I'll see Coach Parker bring his family. O'Leary will be out there sometimes. And I just really got really into that women's basketball. They're a great program. Every year
every year.
Yeah.
Sonia's pretty good too. Yeah. She knows what she's doing out there.
Yeah. I beat her in 1v1 though.
Oh, no way. There's no chance. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I was going to say, there'd be breaking news out here.
Yeah.
You guys ever been anywhere where college game day's been during the week? Ever been on a campus when college game days come into town or no?
I mean, they've been here. Then
besides here, yeah.
Last time they were here was 2018 Michigan, right? So it'd have been right before.
No.
They came to Clemson, right?
Clemson, yeah.
Oh, they were here for Clemson?
COVID Clemson.
They were in the stadium?
Yeah, COVID Clemson. And then we were at Georgia in 2019.
At Georgia,
our freshman year.
So what was it like when you're at Georgia with all that attention?
It was
crazy.
Like, it was awesome to be a part of.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we didn't win, but like you dream of playing stages like that, right? Like we're driving in, you see the game day stage over there, and there's just so many people like surrounded in campus. It was a night game, like at Georgia. It was the biggest stage you could be on.
Yeah.
And as a competitor, like I want to be on that stage any given Saturday.
Yeah, that was my first game starting. I started on special teams, against Georgia, and I just remember we couldn't hear each other like standing this close.
It was so loud.
I've heard that one was crazy. I mean, there's you guys played some great venues, but like down there between the hedges, it's about as loud as it gets, right?
And both teams were like had studs on them.
Yeah.
And that just made it such a bigger game. Like it was awesome.
When you guys are done here, what are you going to miss most about playing at Notre Dame? I asked this question to guys that are towards the end, or that guy. I'm going to talk to Brady Quinn later. I'm going to ask him. I talked to Mike Golick Jr. He said he misses running out of the tunnel the most. Just what, as you go through this year, are you trying to make sure you appreciate before it's gone?
You want to go first?
I just think maybe like it has to do something with the locker room atmosphere, right? Whether that's, walking on the player walk, like with the guys through the fans, or it's after the game in the locker room, or it's, before a mat drill workout Wednesday morning in the middle of January. Like, it's just being with the guys in the locker room, like motivating each other, like knowing that you're going through it together. You can share in that, like, pain and suffering, but also that success and happiness. So just, I guess that atmosphere, it's very rare in life. You can get a room full of 100 and some dudes to come together for a common goal, and then be able to, help each other achieve it.
How about you?
I think something will like come up later, but I think the first thing that comes to mind is just being able to represent Notre Dame. I know that obviously we'll never get the chance again to represent, put on the gold helmet, put on a Notre Dame jersey, and to go out there and play for Notre Dame. I think that's what I'm going to miss the most. I think I'll be watching games for the rest of my life and wanting to be suited up with them.
I just want the last question to be kind of about what you guys hope to accomplish this year. It can be football, can be not football. When you reflect on 2023, when you look back at it, what will success look like to you? What do you hope to get done, Jack?
I think Coach Freeman's message this whole year since training camp has been to reach our full potential on a daily basis, every game, and throughout the season. And if you think about it, like, what is our full potential? Like, who knows? But if we can reach it, it's going to be special.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think that goes in forth of, like, wins and losses, our full potential in our relationships as a team, like coming together as a unit. But also, like, just in the grand scheme of things, like doing the best we can and knowing that will lead to success.
I think there's always those big goals. For me, I just want to look back and, like, think about every day and make sure, like, I made every day an opportunity to get better. And I made sure to improve, and I at least tried to improve. Obviously, results are results, but at least every day I know I'm working to get better. That's my personal goal.
All right. Well, good luck this week. You guys have been fun to watch. Keep it up. We're going to take a break, but we're going to come right back after this.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.